Well, thank you very much. Thank you up there. Here's a little song called More News from Nowhere.
In my places, well, I don't know which is which or who is who. They've stolen each other's faces. Well, Janet is there with her high hat and hair made of beds and feathers. Well, Janet is known to make dead men groan in any kind of weather. Well, I crawl over to her, I say, hey baby, I say, hey Janet, you are the one, you are the sun, and I'm your beautiful planet. But she ain't down with any of that, cause she's heard that shit before. And I say, oh yeah, okay, because I see Betty X standing by the door with more news from nowhere. More news from nowhere. Yeah, more news from nowhere. More news from nowhere. And it's getting strange in here. And it gets stranger every year. More news from nowhere. More news from nowhere. Yeah, more news from nowhere. All right, come on now. Well, Betty X is like Betty White minus that fatal chromosome. Her hair is like the white dog sea which sailors come home. I say, hey Betty X, hey baby, I lean close up to her throat. This light you are hanging is like a light hanging from a distant boat. Well, it's my light, says Betty X. Betty X says this light ain't yours. And so much wind blew through her words that I went rolling down the hall for more news from nowhere. I say more news from nowhere. Alright. And it's getting strange in here. Oh, people, it gets stranger every year. More news from nowhere. Yeah, more news from nowhere. Alright then. Well, I turn another corridor and I see this guy. He must be about 100th tall if he's only got one eye. He asked me for my autograph, I write nobody, and then, well, I jump up on his back and I stab him with my pen. Cause someone stuck something in my drink, everything's getting strange looking. Half the people are turned into squealing pigs and the other half are cooking. I go rolling over and I go running past. I see Miss Polly standing with some girls. I say, strap me to the mast. For more news from nowhere. More news from nowhere. More news from nowhere. Alright, Sonny, let's go. And it's getting strange in here. Oh, baby, it gets stranger every year. More news from nowhere. More news from nowhere. Yeah, more news from nowhere. Alright. Then a black girl with no clothes on comes dancing across the room. We chart the progress of the planets round that boogie-woogie moon. I call her my Nubian princess, give her some sweet back badass jive. Spent the next 7 years between her legs, pining for my wife. But by and by it all went wrong, everything was so looking. And I wept my face into a dress long after she'd gone home. For more news from nowhere. I said more news from nowhere. And don't it make you feel alone? Yeah, don't it make you wanna get right back home? More news from nowhere. I said goodbye. I say goodbye. 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 Yeah, goodbye. Thank you. Good night. Have a good night. God bless you all.